Maverick 100.9, Aggie Lance Country Alternative. It's Corliss. Get to make a new friend today. Lance from the band HogLeg Band is joining me. How are you, Lance?
I'm good. Hello, everyone.
It is wonderful to meet you. We've been catching up and chatting and getting to know each other, talking music, talking everything. And honestly, I have had the time of my life. So thank you so much for joining me here. I'm really excited to get some of your music out here to Aggie Land.
It's an honor to be heard on College Station airwaves.
Now, I've been bugging you. I keep telling you, you need to come for a visit because this is a country music town, and I think you would fit just right in.
Oh, I've probably been there unintentionally a few times already, and I would love to come back. I love that area, and I love country music. And if what you say is true, then it sounds like the place for me.
But the place you hail from is actually Baton Rouge, right?
That's correct. Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Now, all of my listeners already know I am obsessed with Louisiana country. It hits me right in the core. I love it. But I'm a little curious about the title of the band, HogLeg Band. Where does that come from?
Well, hogleg has a couple of meanings. One is a large revolver. Is kind of like the old school word definition, but it's something my brother used to say. And my brother, he died when I was young. When I was 15, he was 18. He was killed in an auto accident, and it's something he'd always say, "Hey, let's go do a hog leg." And it came time for band names, and it was just on my mind, and I threw it in there, and then I added band, HogLeg Band, so the branding would be a little bit easier.
Right. So it does have a very special meaning. It's not just, bang, bang kind of thing.
Right.
That is.
I mean, who don't like bacon?
Truth.
I'm a big lover of bacon. And,
as am I.
If there was a church of bacon, I wouldn't probably join it because it'd be sacrilegious maybe, but I might donate, a little bit to the church bacon.
He's already got me snorting. My goodness. Lance, we're going to have to talk music here. You are finally releasing your first single to Texas. It's called How It Feels to Be a Cowboy. Can you explain to me how it feels to be a cowboy?
It's painful. That's the short answer.
Yeah.
It's very painful. And the song starts, it's a storytelling song, and it starts off in my childhood and, just getting hurt and your daddy looking at you and you're like, son, that's how it feels to be a cowboy. And,
yeah.
And he's trying to man you up. And then, you get on later in life. And when I was living the outlaw life, I spent 2 years, 3 weeks, and 4 days in prison for a nonviolent crime.
No kidding.
Yeah, I did. And they would actually bring me outside of the prison and have me run through the woods. And then they would come chasing after me with bloodhounds. And so they'd say, Willie, go run out in the woods for 30, 45 minutes. And then I'd set trails and I'd walk on barbed wire fences and climb trees and I'd get hurt and stuff. But, and that's the second verse of this song is about them chasing me with the dogs. And the third verse is kind of about another time where I got wrapped around a tree. I was riding a horse, and I told the people that owned the farm, they said, "Are you experienced?" And I lied. I just told them, yeah. And I wasn't a very experienced rider, and they gave me the most experienced horse. And I got what I deserved because he wrapped me around a tree at a full gallop. And I broke like 4 ribs. And when I came to and I started breathing again, I realized like this is what it feels like to be a cowboy, because you just all busted up. And it's a fast driving song, and we really like it. And
it sounds like an autobiography.
It is. It wasn't intentional. I tried to make this record not me, but when you have a groove on a song and it starts off and you get the line like, "This is how it feels to be a cowboy," and you start thinking like, what does it? And you start contemplating, and then these things that happen to you come to mind. And you're like, yeah, that did happen. Yeah, that did. And if you don't put them in the song, you'll be kicking yourself later for not trying, because you won't remember.
You'll be a liar.
it's a good way for me to remember things that happened in my past, and I will never forget them because they're in a song. And so, and they're not all like that, but this one is one of those that tells a true story in a song in less than 3 minutes, which is hard to do.
Well, that is one hell of a story indeed. And I am ready to share it with all of the people of Bryan and College Station. Y'all, I want to introduce you to the HogLeg Band and their first single to Texas radio. This is How It Feels to Be a Cowboy. Due to copyright, Bryan Broadcasting is not licensed to air this single for you in podcast form, but you can find HogLeg Band's full album on any downloading and streaming platform. And today's interview continues now. Maverick 100.9, you just heard it here first. That was the HogLeg Band and How It Feels to Be a Cowboy. And I'm on with Lance from the HogLeg Band, and I have already laughed myself to tears more times than I can count. You are a character, and we got to reverse a little bit. Before the pandemic, you were a radio man yourself, right?
There was a time. That's correct. I produced for the Walton and Johnson syndicated show for about 5 years. And when John Walton passed, they asked me to run a morning radio show in Beaumont on his station. And we did that and into the height of COVID, which COVID kind of, hit radio pretty hard. And they went to a variety market, but it was great to be able to go through that process to learn, what a country DJ needs to be successful, or just to get the great music. And I got to pick some of the music, and I would be like, yeah, I'm telling you, Ricky Skaggs has got the best band in country. If you don't believe me, bet your paycheck. You bet my paycheck versus your paycheck. Bring me some donuts up at the station, things like that. It's so much freedom. But
yeah.
Well, and the music was great.
It is a really cool feeling. Like, it makes you feel like a rock star. Even though I'm sitting here in my weird old Barbie sweatshirt, no makeup, and I'm definitely not a rock star. I don't know. It's a very special feeling to work in radio. I will admit that. Mama
always told me I had a face for radio. And so, that's why I'm here,
My mom wanted me to marry either a country singer or a Major League Baseball player. And
I'm sure my mama wanted me to do the same thing.
Yeah. I am a humongous disappointment, but I became famous enough to where I could introduce her to her favorite country singers. And really, selfishly, that's all she ever wanted.
Honestly, it's the right path too. Because before there was ever a song on the radio, there was a country DJ to play it. And
there you go.
It's that interaction that we need to be able to. What good music is. You bring it to the people. Yeah. We take our good music, we bring it to you, and it just works that way.
It does. Well, and talk about that flip-flop of radio and country music. How has that affected your career as a musician? Has it been an inspiration, or how does that, do they cross over at all?
Yes, definitely. A big part of that 6-month period where I was hosting country music, I was in a transitional period artistically. For years, I did like 546 songs for this show, and we did rock and roll. We did all kinds of genres, but country was the one that I always loved the most. It was the most passion, the one I enjoyed the most. And so when John died and I left the show, I started doing this country radio show at the same exact time. And I just realized, like, we're playing the greats, and then we would other stations and to see what's going on. And I was just like, musically, we can do that than some of the stuff that was coming out. And it was crazy because they would play like something that wasn't that good, and then they go back to like George Strait, and like, why y'all know George Strait works? Why aren't you playing just stuff like that? But they kept going back, and so I said, this is something we can do. And when I decided to begin writing, I had this breakthrough in writing, and I found some amazing musicians and studios, and just kind of everything kind of came together like never before. And that kind of brought us to the beginning of the HogLeg project. And then once we realized we had all the components of a great Nashville or, level band, then I said, why don't we start making a record to complement these guys so that they can play this stuff on that level, because they're all so good. And we're really excited. It's a great record, and I've got another whole record waiting to be tracked and recorded. We're just trying to scrape up the money for the next record. And
I get it. I get it.
But it's a tick and a talk, Apparently, you have to, when you make a record, you have to go out there and tour and promote it. And so we're out playing shows. We've got a show in Fort Worth at the end of this month, and there's a Texas Country Music Association has a fundraiser for tornado victims
including Monty, is that right? Monty Dawson. Yeah.
And so I'm gonna go up there and play for that, and we're gonna donate something. I think we're going to donate. John Walton had a leather tiger, and somehow in the process of helping his wife move 14 times, I ended up with it. And I asked her, I was like, is this something, do you think we want to donate to this event? And she said, yeah. And so we're going to donate it, and we're going to play I'm going to play for the fundraiser. And then the next day is the Friday, the 29th. And we'll be playing at the Woodshed in Fort Worth.
Where can we find more information on this event? Because I think that's worth traveling to. A lot of people were affected by that damage. And as Texans, we stick together, but it's a lot easier to do when you sprinkle a little Texas country music on top of it. You know what I mean?
That's right. Well, I didn't create the event for the fundraiser, but it is on our Facebook page. If you go to HogLegBand.com, we have our events. I'm going to, after we get done with this interview, I'll go ahead and make like a temporary flyer, at least so that it links back so everyone can find out where it is. Because usually I create the event and then I put it on our website. But since it's a third party thing, I'll throw it in there because this is real special. Yeah. Like you said, people want to give back. And I know that when Louisiana got hit with our big flood, Texas was right there bringing pots of beans and potatoes and food. And when Hurricane Harvey hit, we came out to Houston to rescue people and with the Cajun Navy. And that's just how we are. We're neighbors. And at some point, Texas was like half the United States. And at some point, Louisiana was half the United States. And it's almost half of it looks the same to me. Like I can't tell if I'm in, East Texas or in West Louisiana. Sometimes it's really hard to tell.
That's what my husband tells me. His deer lease is in that fine line.
Oh, it's all
area.
The same to him.
Yeah,
it's the same deer. It's literally the same deer.
Same deer.
We gotta write a song about that.
The same deer. We're gonna do that. I'm telling y'all, I'm gonna get Lance to town. I want HogLeg to come here. We've got to build a friendship on this because you are too much fun. You got
the deer as a woman, like my deer, and you have the deer as the animal, and then you have the John Deere, the trifecta.
Oh,
and so somewhere we write a song about the deer.
Oh man, I better get writing credits on this, Lance.
Oh, you can have them. If you come up with the concept, I got in my jacket pocket a guy. He wrote something on a piece of paper, and I said, if I make a song out of it, I'll give you credit. It literally says, my girlfriend left and took my last jar of peanut butter.
Oh, what a B word.
So I gotta,
with a man's jar of peanut butter. God dang.
But I wouldn't have had it if he wouldn't have gave it to me. So I don't mind sharing it.
Well, you brought up a word earlier, just in passing that really stuck, and that was lovable. And Lance, I got to give you that. I haven't met the rest of the HogLeg Band, but you, sir, are very lovable, and I have just enjoyed getting to know you so much. This has been a blast. It's
been a pleasure for me. You took all the pressure off. I thought I had to work today.
Ew. Ew. That's a bad word.
And if you don't work, you don't work a day in your life if you do what you love and have fun doing it. And that's the biggest thing about HogLeg. Every guy that went in the studio, every time we go play, the main thing, have fun.
Yeah.
Because it transpires to the audience, and we're not here for ourselves. We're here to be a part of it. Like we're just a piece in a giant puzzle of this giant continuous song. And we want to enjoy it while we're doing it. At the same time, we want you to enjoy it.
Absolutely. Friends, please go find the HogLeg Band. You can follow them on social media, visit their website. Definitely go get their new album because there's a ton more music on the way. But of course, we were able to debut How It Feels to Be a Cowboy to you on Maverick today, which you can download and stream now. And go get yourself to one of these HogLeg shows because it's going to be incredible. And Lance, I can't thank you enough for delivering it all here to us in Aggie Land.
Well, I can't wait to get out there. Now that you got me hungry, thinking that y'all are good cooking. So I like to eat, and so does most of the band. And honestly, that's when I tell a guy we're doing a show, I'm like, it's this much plus tips, and there's going to be food, man. Yeah. There's going to be food. And I always try to put the icing on the cake for them because we like to eat.
Food and country music.
Amen. Hallelujah.